Act 3, Scene 1. We're in a public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, page, and servants. I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. For now these hot days is the mad blood stirring. You should have answered that a brawl is basically a fight, a feud that they're afraid is going to happen. Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee. And by the operation of the second cup draws it on the drawer, when indeed there is no need. Am I like such a fellow? Come, come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved. And what too? Nay, and there were two such, we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Why thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more, or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is as fond of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as addle as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter, with another for tying his new shoes with a ribbon, and yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling? And I were so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter. The fee simple, oh simple. By my head, here comes the Capulets. By my heel, I care not. Enter Tybalt and others. Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good den, a word with one of you. You should have answered that Tybalt was the first to approach the member of the opposite group. And, but one word with one of us, couple it with something, make it a word and a blow. You should have said the first person to mention fighting is Mercutio. He says, make it a word and a blow. You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion. Could you not take some occasion without giving? Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo. Consort? What dost thou make us minstrels? And thou makest minstrels of us? Look to hear nothing but discourse. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Zounds, consort. We talk here in the public haunt of men. Enter, withdraw into some private place, and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us. Benvolio is a peacemaker, so you should have said that he suggests for them to take their fighting into some private place. Men's eyes are made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure. Enter Romeo. Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man. But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Marry, go before to field, he'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man. Romeo, the hate I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain. You should have answered that. Tybalt calls Romeo a villain. Remember that Romeo was the one who stepped to stop the fight between Mercutio and Tybalt. Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none, therefore farewell. I see thou knowest me not. You should have answered that Romeo responds to the name-calling by answering back gently and politely. Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw. I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied. O calm, dishonorable, vile submission! Alla Staccata carries it away. He draws. Tybalt, you rat-catcher, will you walk? What wouldst thou have with me? Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives, that I mean to make bold withal. And as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pitcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be at your ears ere be it out. I am for you. Drawing. Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up. Come, sir, your passado. They fight. Draw, Benvolio. Beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbidden bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio. Tybalt, under Romeo's arm, stabs Mercutio and flies with his followers. You should have answered that Tybalt stabs Mercutio is what has happened. I am hurt, a plague on both your houses. I am sped. Is he gone and hath nothing? A plague on both your houses means he curses both the Montagues and the Capulets for this feud. What, art thou hurt? Ay, a scratch, marry, 'tis enough. Where is my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon. Exits the page. Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much. No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough, 'twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant for this world. You should have answered that you shall find me a grave man is a pun. If he's a grave man, then he's going to be in his grave being dead. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague on both your houses. Zounds, a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain, that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm. I thought all for the best. Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague on both your houses. They have made some worm's meat out of me. I have it, as soundly too, your houses. Exit Mercutio and Benvolio. This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf, my reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt, that an hour hath been my kinsman. O sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper soft and valor still. Re-enter Benvolio. O Romeo, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which to untimely here discorn the earth. You should have told me that Mercutio is dead. This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe, others must end. Here comes the furious Tybalt back again. Alive in triumph, and Mercutio slain, away to heaven, respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Re-enter Tybalt. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again, thou late thou gavest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads. Staying for thine to keep him company. Thou wretched boy, thou didst consort him here, shalt with him hence. This shall determine that. They fight, Tybalt falls. You should have answered that Romeo kills Tybalt. Romeo, away, be gone, the citizens are up, and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Hence, be gone, away. You should have told me that Benvolio tells Romeo to flee, to run, because he knows that the prince is going to arrest him. He says, the prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Oh, I am fortune's fool. Why dost thou stay? Exit Romeo, enter the citizens. Which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he? There lies that Tybalt. Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name, obey. Enter the prince, attended, Montague, Capulet, their wives, and others. Where are the vile beginners of this fray? You should have answered that fray is a fancy word for a fight. O noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man, slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio. Tybalt, my cousin, O my brother's child, O prince, O cousin, husband, O the blood is spilt, O my dear kinsman, prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours shed blood of Montague, O cousin, cousin. Benvolio, who began this bloody fray? Tybalt here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged withal your high displeasure. All this utter with gentle breath. Calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all is hot, turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn, with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold friends, friends part, and swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to that they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them was stout Tybalt slain. And as he filled, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die. He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live. Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio. Who now the price of this dear blood doth owe? Not Romeo, prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt. And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your hate's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I'll immerse you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo hence and haste, else when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will, mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill. You should have told me that Romeo's punishment is that the prince is going to exile him. Exile means he cannot come back to Juliet at all and be part of her life anywhere in the city.